this is the Musical Bottles Lab. Again, a really fun one that really does need some explanation because as a teacher, and adults get confused by this as well, so kids can definitely get confused. But you're gonna get some bottles. They're not gonna look exactly like this, but they'll look similar. Glass works best. You really do need glass. You really could do this with glass cups, but if it has a narrow top, it tends to work better with the sound. So the bottle with the narrow neck does work best. So I'm going to leave this aside for a second and I'll come back to it. You're going to get into investigating pitch with this lesson. So they're all familiar with the xylophone, I hope. I hope kids know what a xylophone is, but if not, you're going to have a xylophone so you can show them. You can have them come up and tap, you can demonstrate. You want them to kind of understand, and if they've probably learned in music different notes, but understand the different sounds as they go up and down the xylophone. So the idea is the shorter bars make the higher pitch because it's shorter, so those vibrations don't have to travel so far. So they're going to travel faster. Faster vibrations make higher pitches. So this is going to be higher than this one. This one would be the lowest because those vibrations have to travel farther. They slow down the farther they have to travel. Slow, low. That's what we try to get them to remember. So you can, after they have the idea of the xylophone, they're going to create a musical bottle xylophone. And this is good if they want to practice creating homemade instruments because they could do this at home. You're only going to have one set, so you may need to do this as a demonstration with your class. But you'll also have food coloring. I've already put this in just so you can kind of see the liquids. Not sure if you can see the different amounts on here, but it goes, this one has the highest, and then it goes down with the water level. So you can have them come up and tap and explore the different sounds, and I'm not hitting them in the right place, but as they tap, you want them to kind of figure out, okay, which one's making the higher pitch, and why is that, what is vibrating. So when they're tapping it, have them think about what's vibrating. The water is vibrating and the glass is vibrating. So the lower amount of water, those vibrations are going to travel faster, so it's going to make a higher pitch. Then with higher water, that's more spread out, those vibrations have to travel farther. So there might not be much of a distinction, but when they play around, hopefully they'll be able to tell that distinction. What gets really tricky, we were tapping this. So what gets really tricky is there's a difference if you blow into the bottles. It is no longer a percussion instrument, it becomes a wind instrument. And I would not have kids practice blowing in the bottles. You can be the bottle blower. Sometimes it takes a little practice, so I'm going to try to blow into this. You have to blow in a certain way to. Of course, it's not going to work right now, but I promise you, if you do practice with it enough, it starts to make some really cool sounds. I usually look like a fool in front of my class, and they're laughing at me, but once I get it, it's really cool. But it's completely the opposite when you blow into it. And I will say, if you get like Coca-Cola bottles, and I think the ones you're getting are more of a narrow top than this, so they would work better. When you blow into it, it's going to be the opposite. So because it's not the water vibrating, it's the column of air, because this is now a wind instrument. So this bottle has a shorter column of air than this bottle. So this bottle is going to have the higher pitch because it's a short column of air. Those vibrations are not traveling very far, so it's making a higher pitch than this one over here, where those vibrations are having to travel really far. Hopefully that makes sense. Definitely play around with it before you model it in front of your kids, but I think it's important for them to know the difference of tapping versus blowing and really get the discussion going about what is actually vibrating in each of those situations.